Alright, we are at the Sunbelt Ag Expo. There's my wife. She'll be in the pink. You'll see her coming in and out of the footage every now and then. There's Kubota's largest tractor they've ever built. It's carrying two bales of cotton from the demonstration fields. We took a look at these right quick. Very, very neat seeing all this stuff. And then here's the Kubota brown baler that I had several people wanted to see. The net's on the side, kind of like the Claas. It's not really congested on each side of it. This side's probably the worst. It can collect hay over the net, though. That was one thing I was a little bummed about, but that is a double net holder, I think. Pickups, the style I like. The merging augers, I'd like to see a little bit bigger center shaft through those. It is a fork fed system where it doesn't have a rotary feed, but it does have an assistant fork. It's kind of like the design you see on a lot of large square balers. It comes from underneath, and then it flicks the hay back into the bales. I would rather have a rotor because you get full contact and less chance of stopping up. But, I mean, everybody has their own design. Kicker on the back, kind of like the Claas does. They've all seemed to go to that now instead of the hydraulic assisted ones. Wide flotation tires. Does have a knob to open the doors. Was impressed with that. Heavy chains, clean side. No, where it can't really collect a lot of hay. Seemed to be a very well built lighter baler. I think this baler fit perfectly for cattle farmers, ranchers, whatever, or somebody who's not maybe in producing hay but is not producing large amounts of hay. Maybe a 1,500 year old guy, somewhere around that mark. It's a good option if you want the newer style balers for a better price. I think just looking at it over it, I think that it would fit well into that market if you wanted all the new features that these newer balers have, but for a cheaper price. I think it would be a good option if you're not baling a lot of hay. So, I mean, I like the looks of it. Here's their M6. We're just kind of walking around the outside of it. They had a very nice setup there. Thought the booth looked good. Here's the Krone with the chamber bars. They do use a belt instead of actual chain links now to connect the bars. Here, 3 rollers in the mouth. There's the mouth with the hay flows up into the chamber. Large flotation tires. This one's kind of more like the Claas, though. It can collect hay. Large chains, oilers, very heavy, well-built baler. No pivot wheels, I guess you could say, on the front pickup. So they're all going away from that, and I kind of like those, but I guess they decided. Small tube on the merging augers. That was one little thing I noticed that I didn't quite like. Double-sided drive gearbox, front load net. It folds out to you and you slide it onto the end of the shaft and then push it back up in there. Heavy duty chains again on this side. Shielding, though, can collect hay. I did like the fact that the shield on the top of those chains was tilted down, maybe where it could slide off a little easier, maybe not build up. Very, very heavy baler, but I don't like chamber balers with the chains. I like belts. If they put belts in it, it would be something I would definitely look at hard. No mowers, just the Big M. Here's their chopper they also had there. Was kind of disappointed that they didn't have really the mowers, tedders, or anything really there other than just that. They actually had a tedder in the field at the demonstrations. There's Versatile. Had 4 tractors there. Here's McHale. That is the 640, I think is what it is. The only difference in the 660 is the 660 has the knives in it rather than just a feed rotor. A lot like the Claas, except it had more, seemed to be more operator features to maybe cut down on maintenance and everything, and a few little extra things added on. But overall, it's very similar to Claas. Collects hay, heavy chains, large center shafts on the merging augers, heavy duty rotor, heavy pickup, kind of like reminded me a lot of the Krone as far as the pickup went. roller wing guards, crop press to press down the crop, large rotor poly in the bottom to help with wear on the steel. Very well designed baler, 3 rollers, again, 1 solid belt. There's a view inside of it. The only thing with a solid belt for me was how expensive is that thing going to be to replace, and that's where I get into why we could not buy one of these balers. They are extremely overpriced. 55,000 is just entirely too much for a round baler. Just, you're not going to move them, especially the way the market's.
See what's going on here.
All right, so changing out net wrap, you pull this up here. Here's the net wrap. Hold this back. Net wrap system lays here. Take your roller. This thing right here will roll like this. You feed it in, and then you're done.
Well, that's
Get back on your tractor, you take off, and start baling.
That is simple enough.
A lot like the Claas net system, pull down bar, same thing. The only thing is it didn't have 2 extra bars for the net to feed over and down through, but very similar. Here's the T6. This is the only T6 they had at the show, no T5s. This tractor is around 180 horse, a little lot bigger than what we generally would use, but it was the only T6 they had available to look at. Like the cab, the one thing I did notice is the armrest would tilt back just a little bit. Wouldn't really, I felt like it should lock in. The spool valves are a little bit far, but not bad. It's very well laid out. Very comfortable cab. It was a little bit tighter than I'm kind of used to, but I mean, it wasn't bad. It was pretty nice. Once again, I'm not crazy about the power shuttle shifter on the New Hollands. I just feel like it just doesn't feel right when you're using it, and it would, if you were doing loader work, it would be tiresome, I guess you could say, having to pick that thing up and move it so much. The way you have to actually shift it there and pulling the armrest up. But overall, the throttle, the 3-point linkage stuff, the way the seat floated, everything, I really liked it. It was comfortable tractor. A little bit different than I'm used to, so I mean, obviously when you get in something you're not used to, it'd take you a little while to get used to it, but very nice. Buddy seat was nice. Did realize why a lot of the New Holland guys mount their monitors up on these bars is because the way the console is, it kind of fits better there to where you can see, and that's kind of where it'd have to be. You can't really put it down lower like I do on the 5400. Either there it'd have to be on the corner post. But very, very heavy tractor. But of course it is right at 180 horse, so I mean it should be. Do ground level fueling, very nice. It did have the extended axles, so you could put duals on it or slide them out. Heavy 3 points, kind of looked like I'm used to. I'm very impressed with the lighting on this tractor. It had 4 lights on the top and then 2 on each side on the handlebars. Very good lighting on it, but overall I thought it was pretty decent tractor. I'm going to walk around here and show you all the actual horsepower charts. I don't know if you can see or not, but it said like 175, 179, something like that, and then 125 at the PTO on this tractor, which that's the thing with New Hollands in cases. Kind of always notices that there was a large difference between the PTO and the actual engine horsepower.
Probably recognize who it was. GSI. Grain bins. The net system on these is basically the same as what I've got. Hadn't really is the updated version of what I've got on mine. Hadn't really changed them. The throat is still the same. I think they increased the speed of it on the rotor and the chamber. It's still very similar. This is a 480, which would be a 4x6 baler versus mine's 4x5. oilers, declutchers, grease banks up here. It's all very, very similar. Endless belts, roto feed. Here is the new Roland that they just came out with. I have not seen one of these yet.
If you look here where the net wrap's at, there's an oiler there as well. That whole system or slatted thing there, it swings out, straight out, and it unclips, and you can push the net straight up into the box. So that was pretty cool. I like that feature. No swivel wheels on these. They're going away from these. I wish they wouldn't, but they are. All the balers are doing that. This is a fixed chamber roller baler. It's got rollers that line the inside. If you don't know what they are, I never seen them, so they're chain driven. All the sprockets are the drive rotors that are rollers, not rotors, and they're chain driven. The actual thing to get up there, the net set box is a lot higher on this baler than it is on the variants. I noticed they look like the pickup mouth, which I'm about to look at. The rotor is a little bit further forward to me than, or is more open than on the other one. I don't know if that's something new. Maybe they're going to go to later on the newer baler than the new 460. Or what, but it is a little, look like it's a little bit different.
Here's the internals of the Claas.
Very wide bore. Come on. Jaguar. Bad boy. Thing is a beast. Here's the 6712 Massey Ferguson, same as the 6713. This is what they got on display. DEF fluid right there. This is a beast of a tractor. Very large, heavy duty. Hydraulic ports have the flippers on them. Sorry about the sun, it is in the morning. You got the steel cover, it folds up, and then you got caps. Heavy draw bar, they do have the catch bottle for your drain that comes off to keep it clean, and then you can pour it back in the tractor. Alright, we're gonna climb up in this 67. This is the tractor we are looking strong at to be a future bale tractor for us one of these days. The cab is a lot like the 47. It is a little bit different. The gas pedal is a little bit different on this tractor. The gear spacing seems to be a little bit wider, but it's pretty well the same. High and low, 6-speed lift. You actually get the button on the 67 for the up and down. Same lift thing as the 47 has. PTO, suspension, or wait a minute, that may be for the hydraulic combination, I ain't sure. 540, 540E, 1000, all your draft controls. There's your suspension for your rear lift. Lights up here, air conditioning just like the 47. The cabs are very similar. Sitting in it is very similar. Not a whole lot of difference. Buttons are all the same down here. Same shuttle, Massey shuttle. Telescopic steering wheel comes back to you. Loader joystick's the same as the 47. Rear view mirror, cab around. You can't get the Vizio roof in this. Very, very nice package of tractor for size and weight. This is a 100. I know what it is. It's a 120 horse tractor. The 6713 is 130, and then the PTOs or whatever they are. But 6713 is around 75,000. You get the heavier frame tractor than the 57, even the 57 SL, and more horsepower for less money. It's got the new 946 loader on it. Very nice. Radiator and cool packs, I think, it's all the same. This is a 4-cylinder, if I ain't mistaken, in this tractor. I can't remember if it was 4-cylinder or 6. I believe it's 4-cylinder in these. On the Global Series. There's the 57. There's somebody in it, SL. It's basically just a lot like mine, and then it's pretty well the same as Spring Hollow's 56 he had. Oh, here is the 5712 SL with the slope nose. You can see down in front of you. This tractor would be great for running like a Maxilator or something, because you actually can see. Telescopic steering wheel, rear view mirrors, radio, everything. All your stuff's over here for controls. I mean, this thing's got a whole pad for the lights to turn on. 540 economy, neutral, 1000 economy. Also, it has, along with 1000 and 540 regular, all your ports. This is your bale mauler. It is a color screen. 3 spool valves, throttle, forward and reversers right here. You also have your shuttle shift lever, which is standard Massey Ferguson shuttle shift lever over here for the power shuttle. Dyna 4s down here. Different presets. Up and down on the lift, you lift controls. Very, very nice tractor. The 5712 SL is. It's a lot like the 5400, as you can tell, but it's got all the new extra features in it. Clutch, brakes, gas. It does have the brake to clutch feature, where you can hit the brakes and it'll stop and let off, and it'll take back off again. So that way you don't even have to take the shuttle out of gear or use a clutch. You can just use the brake pedal. And this is also your loader joystick. But, very, very nice tractor. This is a tractor I'd love to have, but it's a little bit out of the price range. The 67 is a little bit better deal for the tractor size you get and the power. That tractor is the same size as this one and it's substantially cheaper, but I mean, you don't get all the nice feature comforts. Here's the new baler that everybody is interested in. The roller wing guard. I did run this baler yesterday with a 7700 series tractor. Camless pickup, heavy duty augers. It's got it comes standard with the chopper knives in it. Heavy duty chains, very heavy. Heavy duty pickup, clutch. All your chains go up. You do run these in float when you close the hatch, because of the way the chamber sits. You run these in float, which most of the balers I've looked at down here, the newer ones, they run in float position. When you close the hatch, you just push it in float until you get ready to open it, and you pop it out and you open the hatch. The floor down here, if you look, they showed us this yesterday, spring loaded. It allows the floor, as the hay's flowing in, if your windrow's uneven, to flex, and it will correct the uneven hay basically through the floor. It does have bar gauges on the inside of the tractor on the monitor. Here's your knife drop cylinder that drops down. Endless belts. Cylinder and the springs form the outside. Made a very dense bale yesterday. We'll get to see it in the field. Here's another grease block right here. The same style kicker as the Claas has, which I like. It is adjustable. Large flotation tires, oilers, heavy duty chains, Jeanette stuff. Very heavy. Doesn't have the swivel wheels. This is a flotation pickup. It floats by the springs on the pickup. The wheels are just to go over maybe like a terrace or a ditch or something to help guide it. Here's your net holder here. You can also, for different size net rolls, you have cones that you can put in there and they screw in. Same style hitch as the Vermeer. Let's come up here and look at this net system on this baler. Oh. So you got the net feed. Runs through the rollers and over the top. Feeds down in there between the other two. And then it has a brake system over here. And then it has a, I believe, a shear that drops, a knife shear. And as you tighten the gauges, nice platform to get up on and off. I was very impressed with this baler yesterday when I ran it. It did a good job. All rollers are greasable on this baler. Every single roller is greasable. You can get to through grease banks, including the internal rollers on the inside. A lot of the balers don't have that. You can, it has a cable over here. You hook this cable behind there and it will allow these to match up to the holes to where you can grease your internal rollers too. Obviously the 47's over there, which we've got, and everybody knows what it is. But we'll get an infield footage of this thing. It's a very, very nice baler. I ran it yesterday and it did an awesome job. Fill sensors are up there. They changed the fork. It actually does a rather than just a solid motion, it does a flick now, kind of like the larger square balers. There's the plunger, pretty well the same as what they've always had. Everything. They've added a grease gun on the bag. It is a pump though, so that way you can just pump it and it'll grease everything pretty well. That's located on the knotters. So that is a very nice feature. You can remove it and take it off. You can put these clips up, take it off, put grease in it, stick it back on. This one has the knotter fan that mine doesn't have, right up there. They've updated them quite a bit. This is the class of the square balers. This is the best one there is. Very nice. They've got the large flotation tires on it to help it float across the ground. I love these balers here, these 40s. They are well designed and built. They're a lot like the larger balers. Massey tedder. It looks very good actually. It looks like they've made it a little heavier. I like the looks of it. Very wide bar, I like that. This is the 5711 Global Series. So it's basically a lot like the 67 that I was just in. I mean, really the cab and everything in it is identical. I mean, everything here is familiar to me from the three different models. Even though they're on heavier chassis, the cabs are all the same. Got the cool packs. This one actually has a strap versus the 47 don't. I guess because the hood's a little longer. Well, weight kit. Another great bale tractor that's good on price for the size and what it is. Next time on Bagwell Farms, we will be going to the John Deere booth, the Vermeer booth, and the Do-Its booth, as well as we are going to be in the field at the demonstrations, filming all of the product demonstrations. You'll get to see that, and that video will be up Monday. So thank y'all for watching, and I'll see you